Welcome back to The Inspired Entrepreneur with Heather Hope. Hey, welcome back, guys. Happy Wednesday to you. Okay, this is Heather Hope with the Inspired Entrepreneur podcast. Okay, what should we talk about today? We know. I wrote this book. I know this might get old to those who are here every day. I appreciate you so much. I wrote this book called The Inspired Entrepreneur, and every day I talk about each day that's in that book. So, one of the things that I realized a while back was I write short and to the point things like posts on Facebook and stuff like that. And I talk long. So somebody was asking me the other day about what I was doing. And I told them, I'm like, yeah, I wrote this book and each day it's just a short thing. And so then I created the podcast so I can actually talk about it in like further detail. So here we are. The link is in the description. I have all the links to the books I've written in the last few months. There's two journals. The only difference between the two journals are the covers. There's two different cover designs, and they're not linked. I couldn't figure that out on Amazon, but it's 30 days to manifest your success. So both links are in the description, and the book for the Inspired Entrepreneur is there too. So enjoy. Okay, so let's get started. So if you are new here, I talk about the law of attraction when pertaining to your business, but also money, life, love, everything. So because how you manifest one thing is how you manifest everything. We're manifesting all the time. I hope you understand that, because I see it a lot. Like when people are like, how to use the law of attraction? Like, how do you use it? And it's like, well, like gravity, you just don't use it. It just is. So you're manifesting all day long. So just remember that, I was talking to a friend yesterday and she was worried about something. And I said, you got to stop worrying. You got to stop worrying. You are so powerful that what worrying is basically planning for the future with things of things that you don't want. So you can't, anytime the thoughts pop in your mind, pop some other thoughts into your mind, some good ones, and just change the subject. I do it all day long. I do it all the time. If something pops in my head that I don't want to think about, that I don't want to occur, I will think about anything else that is good and move on. That's all you got to do. So you just got to catch it really quick. You just ask yourself, is this what I want? Hell no. Okay, move on. You got to do, that's the work. And so when you focus on the good thoughts, you will feel better. You'll feel good. And that's your work. That's the only work that's the most important, is to feel good. Okay, so let's jump into today's message. We did a long one yesterday, so let's do something a little bit less long because so I spent all day long. It's almost 7:00 in the evening, and I had one of those days where I was tired all day long. Like my husband's out of the house for like 12 hours today, and I thought, oh, awesome, I'm going to get so much work done. As if I don't get work done when he's here. That's not true at all. Like I'm very focused. When I'm focused and I am focused, like he doesn't bother me. Maybe in the past he did. He would, check on me or whatever. But there have been moments, especially in the last few days or last week, that he was home, but he was so quiet back in his office that I kind of forgot he was here. And then there was one time that I didn't think he was here at all. I didn't think he came home yet. I thought, because he was out riding his bike or something, and I thought he wasn't home yet, and he literally was. I just never heard him. So it was crazy. So anyway, it was one of those days of like, I was just tired, exhausted, that feeling of I don't really feel like doing anything. And I had a lot of high hopes last night, like, oh, awesome, I get all these hours to myself. Literally really doesn't make any difference. It's like that principle. What is that principle? I don't like thinking that things are actually true when they're like this, but like you'll take as long as time as you have. So if you only have an hour to do something, you'll get it done. But if you have 12 hours to do it, it'll take 12 hours. That's how it felt today. And I'm like, what the hell? It was annoying because I'm like, well, okay, whatever. And so I finally, like, I laid down a couple times today, but I couldn't really rest. And then I think it was right before 6, I just went to bed. I was like, come on, Gizmo, let's just go to bed. I'm tired. So I think I slept for 20 minutes. And then my husband texted me. I didn't even know, I don't have notifications on. So I woke up and I felt really good. So this is the product right now, me in a good energy, good feeling, awake state at 7 p.m. And because I told myself earlier, I'm like, I tell myself, because I can spend time not doing things that I thought that I wanted to do. And then I come through like later on. It's like, I'll get the energy. I just have to trust that I will have the energy. And I do. Like the other night when I did the podcast, the episode from yesterday, I did it at midnight, 1 a.m. or something ahead of time. But I worked from 10:30 p.m. to 2:30 a.m. on several things, got so much done. And then it was the same thing as yesterday. There was like 2 main things, like getting my real estate application in and signing up for my brokerage. And they were just both things online, fortunately. And it was like I kind of like finally got them done later, like early evening. Like they both got done. Like all of a sudden they just got done. Like things were held up earlier and I was busy and didn't feel like it, or I don't even know what I was doing yesterday, but they got done. And I'm like, oh, awesome. And I felt good. So it's just those days of, you know what? I trust things are going to get done. The things that are important to me, when the time is right, they will get done. And they'll get done easily. Like we've been talking about for days, right? About alignment. When you are in alignment, things are easy. When you're out of alignment, things are hard. So today I felt like a bit out of alignment. I really did. Kind of mixed vibration, kind of didn't have clarity, didn't have the energy, didn't have blah, 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 right? And I was kind of out of alignment. And so I did nothing because I knew that if I sat at my computer, it would be work. It would be hard to do anything because I didn't feel like doing it. And now I, jumped out of bed after a 20-minute nap and I was like, I'm better now. Well, what happened was I felt really good. And then it dawned on me again, guys. Again, I was like, I feel like this again. That means that something is about to pop in my life because it keeps happening. Remember, we talk about this, how it's been happening at least once a week now. It's so apparent so then that made me feel even better. Like, oh yeah, it's like you can totally just be like, oh, silly me. No wonder I'm feeling like this. I'm feeling out of sorts again because something big's coming. And every time this happens, it happens. And I just feel better. I'm like, awesome. Something big's happening. Then I come in and I look at my YouTube channel and my views are surging again. I've been noticing that for about the last 24 hours, my views are in the upward place again, like they were a month ago. It was actually a month ago tomorrow or today for you guys, that one of my videos went viral and I was just getting a ton of views, on my channel, a ton of views and, quadrupling at least, my revenue on my YouTube channel. So it was really exciting. It really made me think, or made me decide that I wanted to be a YouTuber. Yeah, I want to be a full-time YouTuber and a full-time realtor and everything else. So, okay, let's jump into today. I think I've been talking about it already. So April 14th, when you're in alignment, AKA feeling good, Your thoughts are in line with source, your inner being. That means the thoughts that run through your mind are good. They are on point. So it's like when you're in the receiving mode, we're always in the receiving mode. Okay. We're always receiving. So our mood lets us know what we are receiving. So if we're in a bad mood, we're receiving not so great stuff, like nothing that you can take to the bank, really. So when you're not in a great mood, you got to don't make any important decisions, for goodness sakes. Don't do anything like that. You got to go take a nap. You got to go do something. You got to take your mind somewhere else and get back into a good place, because if you're in a good place, you're going to receive good thoughts. And those good thoughts are in alignment, right? They're with source. Those are from source. And then things are good. So then you'll get more good ideas. You'll get the $1 million ideas. And that's what you want. You want the $1 million ideas. So you have to be in a good mood. You have to be in a good feeling place as much as you possibly can stand. And if you're not, go take a nap. If you're not, go meditate. If you're not, go take a drive. Go do something else. Go do something else. Do something that you know usually can put you in a good feeling place. Does that make sense? When I was a therapist, there was one thing that I did. What I learned very early when I started I worked this one position. I had this one job. My main job as a therapist, I had it for 10 years. I loved it. I loved it because I had so much flexibility and freedom to do literally whatever I wanted to do. I was a group therapist. Excuse me. So I did 3 to 4 at the end. The last few years, I did 4 groups a day, maybe even 5. It was crazy, but it was good. So I got to choose every single group topic. Think about that. As a full-time therapist, full-time person, having 4 groups a day. So 4 times 5 is a lot of groups. It's a lot of topics to come up with. So I came up with my own worksheets, my own topics, my own, all that. But in the very beginning, when I first started that position, my supervisor taught me this one thing. It's called the crisis. What is it called? Crisis management plan. I haven't talked about this in a long time, but crisis management plan. And so I took this and I ran with it. Because, at the time I was dealing with depression for years. Most of my life I was depressed. And so I would do this kind of like a class, but this group topic at least, I maybe once a month I did it. It was my most favorite thing to do. Everybody was just very into it, because what I've learned is anytime that you can give your clients or your people, whoever you work with, some concrete things to write, they think that they're really learning something. They really are. If you're just talking, a lot of people will just listen, right? Like a podcast, you just listen. But if we actually sat down and had a class and I was in front of a whiteboard and I was writing down all these things and I gave you a worksheet and you wrote out all these things, you'd be like, oh my God, that was so good. Because that's what it was. So anyway, this crisis management plan was, you had to know, I tweaked it a little bit. That made more sense because, it made sense to me. You needed to know your triggers. Your triggers. Well, you needed to know your warning signs. So when in this what's it called? Sequence. It was warning signs, coping skills, and it's been a long time, guys. Community support or support. Support? I don't know. People, your support. So let me think this out. I think it was 3. I made it into 4 sections. So there was the warning signs. So the warning signs of this is how I feel when I'm having symptoms. So if I had anxiety, I would start worrying about something, a warning sign. I would start getting moody or whatever the warning sign. I don't think about this anymore, but I added triggers because there was always something that triggered the warning sign. For me, my major trigger was typically feeling overwhelmed. And so then that would trigger into feelings of the depression and all. I don't want to talk about it, but so my point was coping skills. That was a major part of this thing. Like, how can I had my clients, really get clear about their triggers and their warning signs, like to really know them so well, so then they can like jump into kind of a problem solving mode of like, oh gosh, I'm feeling this trigger or feeling this warning sign. Okay, what do I do? Well, what are really good coping skills for you for that symptom? Does that make sense? So same thing is here. So when you're in a mood, like in a bad mood, what are your go-to coping skills that will put you back into a good feeling place? So have that list, like mental list, always at the forefront of like, oh, I'm feeling moody, or I'm feeling on edge, or I'm feeling whatever that is. And say, oh gosh, you know what? I need to go take a drive, or I need to take a shower, or I need to take a nap, or call a friend who's really cool, who's like, makes me laugh all the time, or go on TikTok. Like, I don't do TikTok anymore because it got too much for me, but I really enjoyed it because it made me laugh. There was just a lot of goofy stuff on there. Oh gosh, it is 7:00. You know what that means? It's like dusk. And all the bats are flying. They're coming out because bats, they come out at night. Well, the awning of my house, like the overhang of my porch, we have a lot of bats that live here. They've lived here forever. They've lived here longer than I have. So I don't know how many there are. There's probably too many that I don't want to know about. But this is when they start flying out and off into the into the world. So I'm seeing all the flutters, not like a ton. It's not like some crazy, like the Birds movie or something, but it's just a few here and there. And it's always at this dusk time of the day. It's pretty cool. And then if I'm up in the morning, which is rare to be sitting at my desk when they come home in the morning, but it's pretty cool. Anyway, so when you're in that, that feeling, like whatever that is for you, that doesn't feel good, you got to have those coping skills. You got to have those go-tos that help you, the ones that that help you. Okay. And feel better. Just feel better. Just know that you're going to feel better and you're going to get back into a good feeling place. Because I know how it feels sometimes when you get into that, like, I felt it today, right? Of like, it just doesn't feel right. It's like, it's that mixed vibration. And it feels terrible, really, because it feels great to feel good. But when you're feeling that weirdness, it's like, and then it feels like it's going on forever, but it won't. It'll pass. You just got to like do something else to kind of either break that up or to get your mind off of it, or because sometimes it's just like thinking too much about something, thinking too much about how you're feeling. And then you're just like in this cycle of feeling like crap all day. So anyway, so when you're in alignment, AKA feeling good, your thoughts are in line with source, your inner being. That means the thoughts that run through your mind are good. They are on point. So just remember, you're in the receiving mode. And so when you're in a good feeling place, your receiving mode is good. And that means the ideas that come to you are good. They're good. Run with them. Any thoughts that make you feel excited, that you get excited about, run with them. Run with them until it's like you can't run anymore with them, and then let it go. You most likely, because you can only go so far with an idea until it kind of like fades away because it's not fully developed yet. And then you just let it go for a while. and then it'll come back. Like the next step will come back at some point, and then you run with it a little bit more, and then you let it go because it like lost steam, or you lost steam, right? Totally fine. It's perfectly normal. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you go because. Okay, have an amazing rest of your day, and I will be back tomorrow. Take care, guys. Bye.